It's been about 2 weeks since we've seen you, since the last game. What's the last 2 weeks been like, and how's it helped prepare the team for the home stretch?
Yeah, I think it's been a positive, was it going to be 17 days? I guess positive 17 days from our last game. We had some injuries, obviously throughout the season, and the opportunity to get some guys, hopefully as healthy as possible. I'm not going to say anybody's going to be 100%, but to get some guys back that have been banged up during that 17 days has been good. We were able to do a lot of fundamental stuff, some things you want to work through, especially some special teams and some different things fundamentally. And then you get some extra time, obviously, to prepare for your next opponent. So I think there was some positives with the date, having the open date. I'm not a huge fan of having 17 days off. I think any type of we'd want a couple in a row. You want to keep that momentum going. So I'm not a huge fan of that. But it is what it is. And but I think our guys approach the time off the proper way, and I think they've had some the last few days. Going back to last week, I think they've had some good practices as well, from that standpoint. So pleased with where we're at. We know we got a stretch run here of 5 games left that can determine this season. So our guys are aware of what's at stake and also the importance of winning games at home. So we got obviously a huge homecoming game, and they're looking forward to getting back out there.
Updates on Joe Carter and Brylan Green, and I think we lost a couple others during the last.
Yeah, Joe will be out for the year. Trey Long will be out for the year. DJ Jackson will be out for the year. Brylan is still out.
What does that do for your defense? I mean, Delaware, obviously, top passing attack in the Conference USA. So how does that change it? Is it just more the next man up? Who are some of the guys you're going to be leaning on, especially there at linebacker? Because Joe played.
Yeah, Joe was obviously just a good player for us. A leader. He's hard to replace. Not one guy's going to be able to replace Joe. You do have to have a next man up mentality. DJ Jackson was in a rotation as a D lineman, so that hurts your depth there. Trey was a very big special teams contributor for us, so that hurts in a lot of ways. And so when you're playing a team like Delaware, where Joe was so good, is helping everybody get lined up. He was our green dot. So we're telling him all this. So now you got to have a new guy doing that, and so that's going to be a challenging thing. That'll be challenging, but the guys, the benefit of having the week or the extra time as you've been working those things to put those guys in situations. You'll see some probably more guys play, maybe a little bit that are maybe not as played at linebacker as much. Maybe we'll play some guys if they continue to practice well. Maybe we'll get some snaps there, and so. It's tough losing him specifically, but you got confidence in the guys behind. They got to go perform. They got to perform, but it's a big loss.
Just to follow up, who's going to be your new green dot? Off the top of your head.
I believe it'll be Aiden Vaughn. Aiden Vaughn will be the guy. If he's not in, it'll be either Spurlock or Rail Farrar. You have everybody. You have extra helmets and different things, and so. If Spurlock has one and Vaughn have one, they'll never be in the game at the same time, obviously, so however that goes. But that'll be, right now, that'll be the plan.
Is there an emotional piece to that, too? I mean, you look at a guy like Joe who's, not sitting nothing against the other guys, too, but Joe specifically, who's just worked so hard. You've seen his progression and becoming a scholarship player.
Joe. I mean, it's from a I don't know, a human spirit deal. You're disappointed for him. The guy when we got here, obviously was a walk-on, earned us opportunity, earned a scholarship. Last 2 years have been a big, been a starter for us, played well, been a good leader for us in the locker room. Really cares about Liberty, and so you're disappointed for him not being able to finish, his career out. But also, he's had a great attitude with it, and and I think those guys in the locker room. That have been here with him a long time, they want to go play well for him to help, honor him as well.
With the increased reps, since Joe hasn't been in practice, has kind of flourished, do you think, in the last?
I think the guy that's improved a lot, Darrell or Rel is what we called him. He didn't play a lot early on, and now he's playing a lot of football. He's gotten extremely better, and I think a young guy that'll eventually. Maybe it's this week he'll get on the field with Joe being down. Delano Glod, who's a redshirt freshman, Delano is really improving a lot. He's been behind some good players, and the thing that I'll give him credit for, he comes every day with an attitude to get better, and he's up in the building all the time trying to learn and understand it. And he's put himself in a position where I can see him earning some, reps at some point over the next 5 games, because he's done a good job. He's built trust, and he's continued to work. So I like the improvement that he's made. He's been playing some special teams, but not playing any snap of linebacker. We've got some older guys there. But now with Joe being out, there's going to be an opportunity potentially where he might have to play some. And there's a lot of trust that, that happens, that he'll go in there and play well.
What type of boost have you noticed from the way the offense?
What was that word?
What type of boost?
Boost.
Has
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
gotten from the way the offense?
I couldn't understand with all that outfit you got going on.
Yeah, there are a lot of colors.
Yeah, there's a lot
colors
of
at
colors.
work here. The way the game ended against New Mexico State, how did that boost particularly the offense, and how has that impacted you guys?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of confidence. Let's go through the game. There's a lot of confidence at halftime. The offense played pretty well, and then all these things happen, and then to be able to finish the game, I mean, that was a quintessential 2-minute drive. I think we might have had maybe one incompletion on that drive. We went right down the field. Guys did phenomenal, and so. There was a lot of confidence coming off that field, confidence in Ethan, just confidence overall that, hey, when we do things the right way, we can go score points. It's carried over into practice as far as just the belief they have where, you get some guys that are banged up a little bit, they're getting back healthy, and then Ethan gets a chance to rest his shoulder a little bit that's been banged a little bit. And so I think that from a confidence of going out and being able to perform, be able to score, I would tell you, I think there's a lot of belief in that, in the offensive side of the ball. That when we do things the right way, we're more like the first half and the last drive than that third quarter. And so our job as coaches is we got to eliminate those third quarters, and that's been our big focus this day. What do we have to do to make sure that we can maintain the execution for all 4 quarters? Because when we've been able to execute, we've been able to move the ball and score. We've had a lot of, I feel like we've eliminated some foolish penalties. I'll say that, and we'll have 20 of them, but I feel like we've eliminated those. We just got to eliminate some of the, some of the mistakes that we make by trying to force a play here or there. And if we do that, then I like our chances to move the football.
Do you anticipate putting some more tempo in, which you guys?
I think that's you're always looking at doing some of those things. We obviously played well during that. Obviously, the opponent there, I think, played a little different than they had played the rest of the game. So I think you're always looking at different ways to whether it's jumpstart your offense or getting them comfortable. And so we're looking at a lot of that stuff.
When you're in the bye week, you have a chance to self-scout. Everyone likes to do that. But what were some of the things that you discovered as you were doing that in this bye week? And do you look at it and say, hey, let's just hone in on these things and maybe try to even narrow what you're doing a little bit and just get really good at a handful of it? Is that kind of the approach?
Yeah, I mean, I think every week you're always sort of self-scouting just to make sure that because everybody you're playing's good and they got all the analytics and they got all that. So every week you're looking at some things. Hey, we've done this a few times. We might need to shake it up. But when you get an open week, you can really take a holistic and look at it from an overall standpoint, and then you start. What are we good at? What have we been able to execute for 7 weeks? What have we really struggled in? Is it certain situations? Is it certain play calls? Is it certain schematics? You really can do a deep dive into that, and then you hope. Or do we have the right personnel in here? Do we have the right place in here? You look at all those things. I think that's when you have a lot of time, you can really go back and look at all that. What you find is, hey, why are we turning the ball over? Is it because of we're putting ourselves in bad situations on second down and putting ourselves in a long third down instead of? So we look at all those things, and so I think I've had a chance to identify, hey, we can execute these certain types of plays. Let's be great at those. And if we get beat being great at those, we get beat being great at those. But I think maybe we've tried to. I'm talking offensively, and some defensively, is that you feel like you can do a lot of stuff, but if you can't execute, it doesn't matter. And so I think that's what we've been able to harp on. And it started really, I think, with UTEP. We've started narrowing down some things and trying to figure out, because you had a little bit longer time there before UTEP. And so I think you've seen us be consistently a little bit better, at least execution-wise. Now we've still got to finish in the red zone and some of those things, right? But we have, if you've noticed the last couple games, we've narrowed down some things that we feel like we can handle, and I think that's enabled us to have some better drives and be able to finish some better. And so, but you're always looking at, hey, what are we not well at? Let's try to eliminate that. But also you have to have enough variety or enough changes where somebody just this is what they're running, and if we stop this, they're done. So you still got to try to make sure that you have enough different things in there to try to scheme people up.
You mentioned red zone. Do you hope that that'll help with the red zone execution and the third down execution as well?
Yeah, and I think obviously you go back to UTEP. We weren't very good in the red zone, but maybe make field goals. It's all about scoring touchdowns, right? And so this last week, or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, most part we were able to score touchdowns when we got there. And so that's always a challenge, And is it when you're down there? Is it scheme? Is it not executing the play calls that are there? There's a lot that goes into that. I think what we have to look at, and what we did look at, is when we're down there and we have a second down, what's the best way to put ourselves in a makeable third down, and try to stay out as many third longs as possible. When you go back and look at us, when we've been in third and long, and that's about anybody in the country, but third and long, we've been awful at. And okay, then stay out of third and long. How do we stay out of third and long? And so try to eliminate some third and long. So maybe that's changing play calls. Maybe that's doing some different things. And so we've been able to do some, a deep dive into that, and hopefully we'll be able to execute that going forward and try to stay out of some of those things, some of those third and longs that that put us in bad position not to score touchdowns now.
Had Ethan in here, and he said that his shoulder feels as good as it has since the Jack State game. He obviously is a big part of your offense in the running game, and you want to be able to keep him healthy and keep him able to do that. How do you balance that with making sure he's healthy and making sure he's able to be out there? Because we see what the offense looks like when he's obviously not out there.
Yeah, that's hard, because I think something that he's pretty good at is he runs the ball. He's physical. And so what we've challenged him on is, we're not going to completely stop calling plays for him to run. It's when he does scramble, when he does certain things, you don't have to try to run over somebody. He craves contact. He's going to get contact just because of the nature of some of the things we call. When he breaks out of a pass and he's running for a first down, it's okay to get down, and not let somebody hit you. And so we've encouraged him on that, is that, hey, don't take the extra hits. You're going to take hits. Try to avoid the extra hits. And so that's hard because he's not wired that way. But hopefully he'll run out of mounts, or he'll slide or do some of those things where now the hits that add up, he gets hit 15 times a game. Well, if he starts doing that, maybe it's only 7, and that adds up over time.
Delaware was a fixture in the FCS nationally, and they've had some success so far this year moving into FBS and Conference USA. There are some things that they've been able to find some success at so far, and it seems like they maybe test your defense as far as in the passing game.
Yeah, I think their quarterback's playing really well. Obviously, they lead the conference in passing. He runs well. They run him a lot. I think they did a really good job offensively, and I think they had a lot of success FCS. They're a national championship program. So anytime you've had that type of success in FCS, when you transition up, I think you got a chance to have good teams early on, because when you're FCS, you typically get to keep your kids longer, because they've been able to build. And so if you look at their team, a lot of them are older. They've been there in the program a long time. And so I think they've done a really good job. And they've been in a lot of games. They've won some big games, and the ones they've lost, they've had opportunities, in those games there, and they've turned the ball over a little bit, unfortunately. Or they'd have a way better record than in the league and what they do now. And so, but I think the quarterback, obviously, he makes them go. The challenge that we're going to have to face is he's really good throwing the ball, but can we avoid him getting out of the pocket and making extra plays? And then when he does run the ball and they're using him to run, we got to get him down. Like, he's a big guy, and so it's going to be a big challenge for our defense. And probably from any quarterback that we faced, with the exception, Old Dominion quarterback's pretty good too. They're really going. That was a bad weather game. They're really going to come after us, and so we'll see. If our defenses, especially the secondary, is up to par with them.
Talked about third down. They're really good on third down. How important is it to try to generate some negative plays and keep them, out of those advantageous situations?
Yeah, I think, and what makes him so good is because, one, he can throw, but also he runs, and so if they get into those manageable third down, we got to do a good job. We got to do a good job of winning first down, We gotta do a great job of winning first down. And if we win first down and then they're in a second long, now maybe do you force them where they have to throw it on second long, and now maybe it's a third and long, right? We gotta do a great job of winning first down. If they're winning first down and they're a lot of third and mediums, third and shorts, it's gonna be a long day for us. We gotta be able to get them off the field, and so we gotta really dominate first down. It's gotta be a big deal for us, and to try to get them, out of a comfort zone on third down, because they do a good job.